Oh, yes.
Hello, everybody.
Good day,
Where's
good day.
Where's our signature now? We're doing a call. Hi, Elijah.
Hey,
That
guys.
was a great video. Wow.
Oh my
Yeah. Very nice.
You liked it?
God. Elijah, I cried.
That's not bad. That's good to hear.
Number one, it connected into my heart like crazy, and I love the simplicity of it and the clarity of it and how you brought every piece of us into it, including the farm bins, because we're in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Holy Hannah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
that was great.
Okay,
Cool.
so I know last week we got into like extra values in each of the areas, remember?
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea because rather than thinking we need to be just one value, what would it look like if this value is added to it? Because what are we lacking and what do we need to acknowledge in each of the areas?
Right.
If we could today, Elijah, we have 1 hour. Sylvia's got a lunch meeting. If we could today start one like you did on that video. So let's pretend we're playing the video, but we're also being able to expand in some written because we may get a job down at a casino down south. We had a meeting this morning, 88 staff. We had a meeting with their HR people.
Fantastic.
So what we need to do is, yeah, we know what we teach. We got this little workbook and different things, but we really don't have it clear to send people as a marketing piece.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that gives us something specific.
Yeah, something specific, exactly. So I thought if we could go through each of these exactly, starting at one, starting at research, we've got the convo cards pulled out because Sylvia's never worked with these in this way.
Okay.
Worked with them in a big group at the table, but she's never worked with it individual in each one. And I would like her to better understand and then me even get more clarity on creating just a bit about each area so that we know when we're in conversation internally, Sylvia and I, we're in the fuel. What is the fuel we need? The marketing meeting that we have, 852, and actually have those convo cards out and live by it.
Okay.
We need to be living it.
And we will be teaching this to the two women that doing workshops.
We already have business clients and we've done session 1 with them. Session 2 is their synergy map.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like we need to get a good idea about a marketing piece for these people to send to them, right?
Yeah. So that's going to be a really key component because we're not going to be working likely with the synergy map right off the bat with that crew down there. We're probably going to do a little bit of personalities, convo killer she's interested in, but that's over here on the side, but we just want you to know that.
Okay. Okay.
So today we're going to focus on synergy, on the synergy.
Oh, excuse me for a sec. I've got
What's her name in BC?
Lara.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more in Nova's game. I'm playing more in his game. Gino, I'm helping to sort of put his conceptual work into sort of like a teaching package. So I'm sort of working for him. Lara, she's still in the midst of getting, she's always in a spin. But the thing is, the huge missing piece is the manuals, right? Because it's just, and I think what I was just doing, because it all pertains to you, of course, but I was just in the middle of doing a workbook for the convo cards, which is going to transform everything for you guys. Like as soon as you have some workbooks, you can just sit down and go here, da 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 da. It's different, right? And so actually, if I can share screen, because I just wanted to show you. Oh, I'm not sure I can. Where's my mouse is not working that well. Okay, now this I want to show you because I think you might get this. We'll see. It's freaking mouse. Do you know when your mouse doesn't go where you want it to go?
Yeah.
Very,
I know.
very irritating. Okay.
So Elijah, a role in number one on research could be compliance, couldn't it?
Compliance
Compliance.
as a value?
Mhm. No, another word for research could be compliance or not. Oh,
No,
did you?
no.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, can you see the analysis, the convo card analysis in front of you?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can. Okay, so this is the beginning of having where you write down rules, because each conversation type is going to have different types of rules. You choose a value. You look at your learning level where you go unconscious incompetence. Let me just get this over for you.
Learning levels. Okay.
So they identify where they're at with it, like unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, right? Because some of these they use well, some of them they don't, right? So we're going through all of them to figure out where they are, because at the end of it, then you could look at what training they need.
So Elijah, my quick question about that though, do you have some stuff on those four? Because I'm only speaking for Sylvia. Do you know
Okay.
what Sylvia, do you know that if they're at a learning level where they are for conscious competence?
So unconscious, they're just not even
Unconscious incompetence.
incompetent.
So anyway, what I'm saying is, no, we don't know exactly the meaning behind that. So it's
Okay.
like levels of health in the personalities. If you're at level 4 in your health of your personality, you're kind of here. Do you have something
Well,
along?
what I'll do is with this particular manual, I'll explain it. I explain each part of what has to be gone through. So yeah, that's important. And then over here is interest level,
For the trainers.
is going how interested are they in it, the actual card, or conversation type. So not the, and then the value. Let me just
So that's in the value and the convo card. How interested are they in that? Because they might go get a word like blessing and they go, ugh, or whatever the word might be, investigation, and they might just go, ugh, right?
Well, I think in situations like that, where if something comes up which just doesn't click with someone, they can choose again, or they can actually go through the deck and choose something appropriate.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes having the person choose it, like they go like, what do you need? Go through this deck and choose out of all these things what you need the most, depending.
Yeah.
So
when we're in research, there's the 8 convo cards that go with research.
yeah.
So what you're saying, I'm just verifying this. You're saying give them those cards and let them look at them, read them, and then feel which one feels the most.
Well, I mean, it really depends upon, what is the situation? Are you dealing with someone who is going to learn all the convo types in a course? Are you dealing with someone who's just going to learn the research convo types in a course? Are you dealing with someone who you're just getting familiar with, or they're going to go through all of them and choose, let's say, 10 combo types that they want to master? Or like what we did is we took the 7 steps and put a convo type at each one, which is a session I just did with a lady, and it went perfect. So again, like everything is sort of like just depends. And I think with the manuals, what it's going to do is I'm doing it sort of like by exercise. Like if you want to fill in a synergy wheel, here's the manual. If you want to fill in a flow wheel, here's the manual. If you want to, so these are sort of in the making, but hopefully will be out soon.
So what we're doing with these women, and we'll use that for a prime example.
Okay.
A woman that ran a business for 10 years, now she's bringing a younger woman in to work with her, and they do drug and alcohol testing. So what they need to know is we want to go through the synergy map through each part of the wheel, and then be able to explain what that means in the inner group with the 2 of them, and then see kind of what do they gravitate the most to run that company.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess you could say, where do they fit, right? With only two, just like you guys, like you both might be doing marketing, or one of you's doing marketing, or maybe nobody's doing it. Maybe nobody's doing the research kind of thing. And so it's identifying like who's doing it and sort of what they're doing, and look at like try to fit in all their business processes, like sort of do an analysis of what their processes are. And basically, you know, she'll be telling you them all. She probably doesn't have them on paper. And so another thing is you could give her all the conversation types and say, go through them and say, which of these conversation types are essential for your business?
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice.
Which types are essential? So we'll take them through that exercise. And then what the ultimate goal is when they walk away after 3 hours or 2 hours, whatever the time is, I think.
Yeah.
Then they're going to walk away with a rough synergy map.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, if you're doing the synergy map and you're doing, let's say, a 3-hour session, because you know the synergy map can be done actually quite quickly.
I know the actual map can be, yeah.
So I think, you know, having her get familiar, both of them get familiar with the map, like doing it so almost by the end of the 3 hours, it's memorized. Yeah. So you might have like a blank map. And well, you might at the beginning, sort of like you want to find out where they're at first. Like, do they have any organizational maps? Do they have any process maps? If they don't, then start to sort of like do an investigation and go, okay, what are all the processes that are in your business? Like, how do you get the customer to the door? What are all your marketing processes? Okay, what are your services processes? Where do you have a direct connection to the customer? What happens there? Do you have any product development? That would be at 5. You know, are you building any new programs? Are you coming up with something new, or do you want to come up with something new? What about your relationships? Who are all the different relationships in your business? Do you have categories for these people? Operations, you know, what are all the activities that you have to do that you don't get paid for that run your business? Start to write these down. What about like how many different job roles do you have? Like, is it just you two, or other people come in, or they're contractors? Like, you want to sort of get a map of their business system as it is. And then you're going to introduce, okay, well, here's, you know, all these questions we've been asking you is the synergy map. And so we are using this as a methodology to look at your structure to see what you do and what you don't, because there might be some things missing. You might have old clients, 200 old clients, and you don't have a process to go from inactive to active. So that's usually a huge thing for businesses. Yeah, so I'd suggest go through the synergy map, do an investigation, find out what she already has, take good notes, get that ahead of time, and then go into, okay, now we're going to create a synergy map for you with values first. And again, one of your questions ahead of time may be, what are your most favorite values? Like, what values run your business? And if there's the 2 of them, you know, find out from both of them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what, that you just said it, like, get that out to them ahead of time, get them to do a little bit of prep, and then they're coming here and we're not wasting our time
or their time.
Yeah, doing all that.
Okay, I thought this would be within the session, because sometimes, you know, you're sort of interviewing, but what we could do is we could create some pretty simple forms that could have, you know, here's the marketing question, have like an empty form for them to fill in. Send it as ahead of time, they fill it in, so you're right, and they come there, but they've already got the synergy map in their head now because they've already gone through that process. So that's
guiding them around the whole wheel of the synergy, and then using the combo cards to see what really stands out for them and what are they doing in their business. We'll know that from the sheet they get back to us.
Yeah, and I probably, like, if you want to like do the synergy wheel, then look at your timing, because then you're kind of looking at, yeah, you got to look at your time, because always think in layers. Thinking like there's another layer we can do. Never do more than 3 layers in a session is what I've learned. And what a big thing could be, like, what are your communication problems? Yeah, and we should have like a kind of, an analysis as a sheet ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then they do the values wheel. I'm just wondering how to end that one.
Thinking because I also break it into the 3 triads of the 936, the engine, the 147, the compass, and then the 852, the fuel. But what I'm feeling here when you said, like, we don't want people just to end and be done with us. We
No,
want to come back. So then we could take each of those triads in a shorter time frame and work with them just in a triad. And it would start with the management. The foundation of any organization needs to be put in place. That's my thought, Elijah.
okay, no, because I had, so the 147 is the fuel, 852 is the compass.
No, 852 is the fuel,
852 is the fuel.
because that's the action. Because even in personality, that's the action. So that's the action or the fuel or the marketing meetings they would have. 852, right?
Right.
This is where are we going? What's happening? What's the direction? The 147. And then the 936 is the foundation or the engine. Does that sound right to you? That's what Margaret uses in money, in the money world. That's where I kind of got that from.
Because I mean,
What do you
because
think?
just looking at the 4, like 4 is activity and action.
Mhm.
And so that's, I mean, the thing is, we're mixing models a bit, right?
Yeah, we are. We're
I
mixing
like
up.
this from probably another perspective. It may not match up quite the same.
Yeah, and if it shifts and we need to shift it in a synergy map that way, we would love to do that. That's just what I learned in the money from fear to love.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
I got something to show you. So this,
What do you got? Oh, it's a case.
they finally came in.
So much better.
So they
Oh,
look really sharp, nice, professional.
and at the top I'll have a flow wheel so that we know that's the, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, so there'll be 4 of those, then in a nice box, and we're redoing the box right now.
Awesome, Elijah.
So it fits.
Meantime, because they're
We
so,
put ours in this.
and then at the back is Planetary Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you created a new one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got that one from the dollar store?
Yeah, dollars, yeah.
And it's got all the cards in one thing, but just for now to keep them, because that box,
That's
they rattle around, they.
yeah.
I like those.
That's nice. I like that too, because it breaks it down.
Yeah.
These are all in one, whereas that breaks it down.
Yeah, and it, the more professional it looks, right? The
Yes.
You
Yeah.
got it.
value things kind of as they see the package really creates the value inside, sort of. Okay, so
You're wrong.
so you're saying that you haven't gone through the conversation cards, or you don't understand, like Sylvia, you don't quite understand why each set of 8 is at each of the synergy.
Well, I understand that, right? When you're at the creativity, you're going to have a designing conversation, ideation, design specs, all of that.
Yeah.
But when we're having, say, those conversations, like how does it work? Do we specifically point out, okay, let's have a design conversation on what they are, marketing's going to, and what do we need to build that design? Or like brainstorm would be first, I guess, right? Like like these conversations kind of look like they go in a certain order.
Yeah, they can. It depends on what you want to do. So like, I mean, I would say like what you're doing with these guys is you're probably starting a bit with a needs analysis, right?
Okay, yes.
You need to find out what they actually need. And so that's what that document will be, with going through the different synergy lenses to see. Well, actually, you'd have a welcoming, let's say, first.
That's what I would say is a welcoming. And then a first contact.
Well, it's not necessarily first contact anymore. Like what I'm doing is let's get 7 for your second session with these ladies.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
session number 2.
So you start with a welcoming. And the thing is, what you want to do is you want to lay these cards out and then go through them with them. And maybe what I can do is I can make a nice version of that. When is your meeting with them?
May 26th.
Okay, that gives us some time. And when's your thing with these people down in
Well, that we don't know. We told her that we will get her some material so she can present it to her upper. She's the HR and finance person. So she's
Okay.
got different avenues that she can come under to get funding.
could you phone her and find out what are their, like, say, top 5 communication problems?
Okay, awesome. Okay.
So then we can tailor make it to that.
What else did she say? What interested her the most this morning? When we
The
chatted?
money, like,
Oh, yeah,
Understanding
finances.
money,
Yeah,
yeah.
understanding finances, because she's 5 years from retirement as well as other people, and how many of them would love that?
and she also said, like, when we brought up like wills and death and stuff, like 90% of them don't have the will.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Okay, so totally different. That's more from the financial end. Okay.
The finance and the money
Mhm.
wheel.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not
Okay. So let's get back to
to these ladies.
so you got welcoming, needs analysis. So the crescendo is going to be the sort of taking them through the process of doing it. I mean, that could be monitoring. Let's say synergizing.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
So you're
I was just trying to think of words. Oh, we're synergizing, Elijah. I just don't know.
that's in the synergy conversations.
Yeah, so put synergizing out. Okay, yeah, I'm just putting the ones out that we're talking about. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now in between, like once you figured out what they need, I'm just
Mhm.
wondering about, oh, maybe then you should probably do an instruction.
Okay, then instruction, yeah.
Then an instruction, and then you let's say we just call it synergizing to get them their value system together.
Yeah, so
Then-
that would happen in creativity.
Yeah, and then after that, you probably want to do an assessment where you do, okay, where do you think you are right now from 1 to 10 in terms of each of those values?
Mhm. Mhm. Where's assessment?
Assessments in learning combos.
Okay, so instruction and then.
You guys don't got these memorized yet?
No, not, I don't quite, most of them I can find, Elijah, but the odd ones I'm going, Okay, you're funny.
Okay, then let's say feedback,
Feedback, okay, yeah.
get feedback from them on the whole process kind of thing. And then maybe you could finish with a motivational.
Motivational, which I know is in. human
That's
resource-
in learning.
Yeah, I know that.
And so the goal would be to get them to the next session. So we need a bit of a 7-step program for them to look at. You've already done one. So we should have something that shows 7 sessions.
Okay, something that shows 7 sessions.
Your own kind of, because this to me, you need a basic 7-step that you could do with any small business. That's a first program. They come in, they get a synergy wheel, they get a flow wheel, they get a combo killers, whatever it is that at each one of those 7 steps, right? They get something.
Yeah.
And so we've actually looked at that for each of you individually, but now we're kind of, let's say, looking at Visionary Hub, a basic, let's say, small business package. It might be, maybe you sell it for $1,000
Right, exactly.
and you have 7 sessions. And with $1,000, maybe then you could give even 20% away to somebody, $200, have salespeople. And then you could have a steady flow of people coming in, right?
Yeah, exactly. A steady flow.
So
Sylvia's got a question for you. She's doing notes.
Okay,
Her ask some questions because I'm way more familiar with this than she is.
okay.
I'd like you to share that, Sylvia, so that, and there's no feeling shame or dumb or anything.
I don't.
Like, didn't you hear them? Don't you know them all? Right?
I'm smart ass.
Yeah, I know he is.
Okay, so the 7 steps that I've got so far is welcoming, which is 7 under services. The needs analysis is 8 under marketing. And then I have synergy, which is 6.
No, instructional.
Instruction goes
In
after
before
needs.
synergy. Yeah.
Okay, so instruction is 3 under learning.
Yep.
And then it's synergy,
Yep.
synergizing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just 6. We're just making sure that it's in the order because she's taking notes. I know we can listen to this again.
yeah. And then assessment after synergizing, which is 3 again.
Yeah.
Okay, and then feedback, I don't have where that is.
Another 3. It's
Is it
another.
a 3?
Yeah, lots of 3s.
That's another 3. And motivational is,
3 too.
It's right here.
oh, it's 3. Okay.
Was feedback before motivation? Yes. Okay. There we go.
Okay, so that's the 7.
So that's 7 of them, and
Yeah.
kind of coming through the flow. And then what you said is you said something that shows 7 sessions would be important because we want to continue to build on this.
Yeah, I'll do that for you because I'm again starting to make the materials for it. So I'll put this into a nice
Okay.
thing for you because this is going to be the beginning of you. Like as you go through the process, you're showing the people the process kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to create their own 7-step or they're going to create their own whatever they create with them. But you're just demonstrating the use of the tools by using it within your own business model. So now what you can do if you want, you can do a value system for this. If you want to, maybe, how about this? How about each of you choose 5 values that you would like to see in this process and actually choose them.
Okay.
Do you got the value cards nearby?
Yeah, we got them right here. Who gives that to me? Takes 2 minutes. Sorry, you guys will be becoming
No, that's
noisy.
okay. It takes, yeah, I'm just gonna grab them from the table.
Because what? There you go.
Then we didn't have to
You know
go
what?
through all of that.
Makes everything difficult and slow.
Talking.
Makes everything difficult. Cards are right here. Shut your mind off once in a while. We do.
Okay, so each of you consciously choose 5 values.
And I think the reason I'm so feisty, Elijah, is because it's time. I have no more time that I want to sit here and wait for this shit to happen. It's been 13 years.
Oh, tell me about it.
7 for you. Or longer. Or longer. Okay, so you want us each to choose 5 values consciously.
Yeah.
Put them into play. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. There we go. I got my card. And this is just kind of giving us an example.
Oh, 5.
So, yeah. Oh, nice. You and your understanding, right? Holy
Yeah.
cow. everything with Sylvia is understanding.
Lately,
Last 2 days.
yeah, I've got it 10 times, yeah,
I
lately.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then I said to her, how are you getting the understanding?
Mhm.
She goes, well, I guess I need to Google to understand. And I go, why don't you use the professionals that know finances and know that stuff? Elijah's our professional. Okay, perfect. Look at you, you got words that I don't.
Okay, so you both got 5. So tell me what they are.
Okay, so I have awareness. So totally being aware of the
That's my
process.
word.
I know.
Bring your card up to the camera so they can. Yeah.
Simplicity,
Okay.
awareness,
Okay.
courage,
Okay.
compassion,
Okay.
and reason.
Okay.
We have to have a reason for being.
Excellent. And Sylvia?
Okay. Innovation,
Uh-huh.
diversity,
See, uh-huh.
expansion,
Very nice.
integration,
Excellent.
and
Understanding. Perfect. Okay, so just for the studio audience, sometimes when you have partners, you have people, it's hard to choose values. It's hard to come up with something you can all agree upon. So this is just looking at how you can kind of, everyone gets to consciously choose what they want. There's only 7 spots. So now turn the cards over, shuffle them up, and then set an intention, because you're always setting an intention whenever you're doing it. Let's say to create the best visionary hub small business process. If you want to call it that, it's a starting process. Do you want to write that down?
That is beautiful. Visionary hub process. Okay.
For the synergy wheel, Okay, so you want to shuffle the cards and what? Maybe Laurie, you can do number 1, Sylvia number 2, Laurie number 3. Okay, so what do you got at number 1 for the welcoming convo?
It is diversity.
Diversity, okay.
What's second?
And just before you go to the second one, what do you think that means?
Perfect. For me,
Yeah, like diversity, what do you think that means in terms of the synergy process?
as far as the welcoming goes, I feel diversity is being able to serve different people, because we just did a talk to teachers and support staff. And a comment was made, not everybody's teachers here. And my comment back, Elijah, was, I'm using the word teachers because I realize we are all teachers. We might not have a certificate on the wall, but we're all teachers. So I see diversity almost fitting into that, where we're all, it's the circle saying we're all the same. Even though we're different, we're all equal.
Okay.
The services that we provide isn't discriminating on any type of people, whatever level income, whatever level of anything. That's what I feel through that.
Lovely. Okay, lovely. Sylvia, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so diversity in welcoming different groups or businesses when we go to them may have like different, say, nationalities, or they're just a different type of business. And so we have to be diversified in maybe how we walk in or how we present and things like that. So we can't be all like just stuck in a box. We have to be open to diversifying how we present.
Okay, excellent. So how do you feel about that particular value with that particular combo type? Both agree it works?
Yeah, right now,
Okay.
carry
Okay,
on.
let's go to the second one at the needs analysis.
I have integration, which is to value the act or instance of combining into an integral whole. Integral whole. Thank you.
Okay. And so what do you think that means?
To value the act or instance of combining into an integral whole. So gathering all their needs and looking at it as like a whole picture type of thing. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that says it. Yeah. Laurie?
So what I see is, you know, those questions you said on the on the first page, and you had all those questions that we're going to send out ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's the needs analysis with those different questions that are integrated into the whole system.
Yeah.
So that's a great value for that area.
I think so. Sounds perfect almost.
Very good. It almost sounds perfect. Exactly.
Okay. So
Okay. One is
instructional.
So that's free. Simplicity. Yay.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that one.
So what I see there, Elijah, because instructional is to teach a specific skill or job or activity. So simplicity to me just says, do not make it difficult. Don't have all these parts. Use simple language and keep it all clear and concise, so that, and break it into parts. So don't put all of it in one session.
Right.
Break into smaller sessions to keep it simple. You got it. Thank you.
That sounds perfect.
So, yeah, I like that one too. Simplicity is key, because this is a whole new system, and to keep it as simple as we can. All right, so next is what is the synergizing.
Yep.
And I've got awareness.
Okay.
Oh, which is to value being able to differentiate, thank you, between different internal and external states and objects. And synergizing is to learn how to share the same content so that a synergy exists between all parts. Wow. Okay. That, yeah. So it's like understanding the old and bringing the new in, and the awareness that the new brings is not the same as the old, that can all work together.
I think she's complicating it.
Yeah.
I like, and the get it together.
Reader's Digest. So I have to do that with my partner Rob all the
I
time.
don't know how to do it.
Because his wing is a 9.
So like awareness that the new paradigm toolkit that we're bringing in will work in any business. How about that?
Well, the synergizing, what we're looking at here is the crescendo. And so we're looking at, this is the part of the process where you're doing the values with them, right? So you're having awareness around who they are, what they're doing, the process of how to do it. Because that's the, like, everything is led up to the crescendo, which is them getting the value system, right? So just around synergy, you know, how, like, don't lose rapport, see if they're overwhelmed, you know, have a high degree of awareness around what kind of impact you're having. Because I think sometimes if you're going as a team, one person, let's say Laurie's on the lead, and then Sylvia is in the background who's watching, you're observing, you're sensing the things that Laurie can't sense, right? So you're learning how to sort of, you know, one is more on the active, one is more on the receptive side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're really in high teaching mode, sometimes it's not so easy to sort of take into account like the back of the room or the sides or whatever's going on, right? So
people crying in the audience that when we spoke at that event at the school, Sylvia noticed the people crying. I didn't even see that. So there's that active and that receptive.
Okay, so on to the next one, assessment.
Okay, assessment. Expansion, to value an expanded, dilated, or enlarged portion of form to a thing. So if the assessment is to assess the levels of competence in regards to a skill, it's like almost guiding them to an expansion in the skills that they're using because they feel like they don't know more, but to expand that they have way more opportunity to expand their skills than where they're staying in a box. That's a little bit of what I see there, Elijah.
Okay, Sylvia?
Yeah, so to value an expanded, dilate, or enlarged portion of form or thing. So by going through this process, we literally are expanding people's knowledge and bringing in new thought patterns.
Excellent.
That was excellent.
I would say, and the assessment is at this point, they've done the synergy wheel, and then you're going to do a what from 0, 10, -10 to +10. What value will they get? Like if they have charisma at marketing, what are they -10 to +10? Like there's a you take them through an assessment to give them a benchmark for where they're at with a number.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like
So-
you're right. Charisma at marketing, how does that feel to you guys in a -10 to a +10?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, I think we did that with you, maybe not every time, but some, I think that's something we need to have as a protocol to give a baseline of where they're at, because in a year from now, they're going to look back and
Yeah.
look at the synergy map, because I think every year there should be a sort of a assessment of how far they've gone.
So Elijah, when you say we're done the synergy wheel, where did we do that?
At the synergizing, at the crescendo.
Oh, we did the synergy. Oh yeah, we did that and pulled the values and did everything here at the crescendo. So this is where they create their synergy. Okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Because like the welcoming, they're coming in the door, the needs analysis, you'll go over the form they create. They either did it or they didn't. And if they did it, then you go through it with them. If they didn't do it, then you sit down and then you do it with them. And then once they've done that, then you go into the instruction of really, you're briefing the values map. You're going to teach them on how they're going to do it, what they're going to do. Like it's everything you say before the actual experience. Then you take them through the process. Then afterwards you do the assessment. And then finally, feedback to me would be, now they're giving you feedback about the process, or maybe you're giving some feedback depending, but feedback's good to get from them. So what value did you get?
Are these available? Are these all available? Is it all available? Feedback, understanding.
Understand? Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that is so perfect. Like you say, it's for us, but it's also for them to have understanding. Yeah. Oh, wow. So feedback, sharing knowledge of the results. So both sides kind of giving feedback, but really us asking them first, and then giving feedback from how we observed what went on. And then the understanding is to value that outcome and how they're feeling about the process they just went through.
Well, yeah, and to really see how much have they understood, right? Like it's a lot to go through.
Perfect. These women are pretty shift, and they've been to a lot of hub factors. They've been to a lot of hub factors. Probably those two at the most of the hub factors. So they have a good understanding.
Okay. And now the final one, motivational.
Courage. Interesting one. Courage. To value the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, pain, etc. without fear. And that goes with motivational, which is
Go to the core of what inspires.
to go to the core of what inspires people and get them motivated. Courage. That's pretty cool then. Like, yeah. Like
Courage is
they
to step in.
exactly.
Or step up.
Yeah. That
And yet look at Sylvia when you originally chose that value, going, oh, I don't know if that fits into motivation. But once
Right?
you connected those
exactly.
two,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So another, you know, and again, kind of like we can't go wrong because you chose the values in the first place. We chose just a little bit more. So you're getting, all of you are getting what you want in terms of everyone has an equal chance to get their value in, right? Because a lot of times we get attached to certain things. But then as you see, you know, you witness this over and over again, where through divination, you come up with something that both can feel very happy to agree to, right? Because not one person saying, I want this, or this is the way it is. You're sort of, it's being unveiled to you, which I think is very, very, this is fantastic. Huh?
This is excellent. And I'm noticing, I'm sitting here going, I chose this is really cool, because honestly, as Sylvia pulled out her cards and haven't seen her, I go, freaking innovation, that's a card I would normally pick.
Right.
That's what I would pick, and
Right.
she's saying that with some stuff I chose.
Exactly.
And yet, as we chose these cards, there was nothing going, oh, brother, that doesn't
Right.
really fit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And you know, I'm really realizing too, as you said, you can't go wrong because you chose the values. You
Yeah.
didn't just do it divinely, you chose them first and then you did it divinely. So
Yeah.
they go where they need to go. And I think that's the best way to teach this period, is not do it 100% divinely.
Yeah.
They the value and then they do it divinely. Yeah. That's what we did in part 1 with the ladies for their 5 spaces map.
Okay.
5 spaces map in part 1.
Okay.
Now it's the synergy, bringing those 2 women together now to bring values forward into a synergy map.
And I think what's been, you know, missing a lot over the years has been, you know, every time we've made a map, I should have made a nice version of it and sent it to you. That should be part of the process. Because I was always thinking, you know, well, you got to charge more, and I'm always worrying about, you know, money and charging too much kind of thing. But I think it's just necessary to have these maps, right, in a nice form once they're done. So now with this new program, that can be done. At some point, I'm gonna have it set up so you guys can do it yourself. But right now, I'm just figuring out how to do it myself. Because at some point, you know, I'd like to empower you guys to really do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. And then again, it's kind of like you want to make a synergy map and you just did it with someone, you can go on there and do a nice map and send it to them as part of your process, right? Rather than always waiting or looking for me to make these things.
I realize, because you're not going to be having time to do that.
No, I don't think so at some point.
So what we're going to say, so they're going to be just doing it on a, like, we're just going to have a map made that they're going to have in their workbook that they'll be filling in. But
Yeah.
then the final map, as you did for our future, will be their gift from us in the future. And thanking them, and then offering, they'll already have been offered coming in for the next training.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it's like the last thing I just sent you with the video, like the offers at the end, or there's potential, like, and there's so what I'm going to send you a nice version of this.
Okay.
And I'm going to make a marketing thing for it.
Okay.
And I'll do a synergy marketing. Anyway, just let me sort of, because I get a download of what has to happen. Then we can negotiate. Is that okay?
Yeah.
In terms of, because essentially what I need to do is get you all the materials you need to start
Going.
the repetitive process of bringing multiple people in and taking through the same process, right? And then you charge the money and you make the money, right? So
This is the 7th step in what we need to do with those women and be able to carry the 7th step on. But then all of a sudden, things are going to start happening in other areas when it comes to creativity and marketing and different things like that.
Yeah.
So we have to, I know I'm kind of stuck on my fuel compass engine.
right.
Work with these women. Let's look at the management team and what does that look like in the 936, which is the customer service, the HR, and the CEO.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not like, if I say go ahead with it, I'm not going, like, at some point I need to sort of sit down, really think it out. But if it works for you and you can make it work, then go ahead with it, you know.
Okay. And we're gonna probably give them different names, but we just want to be consistent with our message that we're taking forward. Okay,
Yeah.
so then we can work a 7-step plan into just working with the 936,
Yes.
which is the management team.
Yeah.
So then we have a 7-step plan.
I mean, and that's like, I think once you get this, because I don't think it's sort of like with anything this new, it takes a while to kind of register, because I did create one of these for each of you, right? We each went through a process where each of you has a 7-step. And so the idea being that each individual, like this is sort of like a visionary hub synergy wheel process, right? So either of you could do it, or you could train other people to do it. But then we're looking at your inherent gifts and what you really want to do. And you can create a 7-step process for that, which we've already done, but we haven't flushed that out. And the videos that I made for you was the beginning of going, like, if you want to create marketing pieces, you know, here's the step, here's the spell I'm in, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's the aim, is to create not just the marketing pieces, but the actual program itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that could be a little bit too advanced in the moment. Like, let's just figure out what we have right here for you that's there in reality, which is these two ladies, and use that as an example to make one of your prime processes. Because I think the synergy values wheel is one of your prime processes, right?
So do I.
That's
Getting into the
cool.
other group, because from that and with that, we can combine the personalities
Yeah, you can add everything on top of that.
and all that other stuff on top.
Now, Sylvia, you had to go at 11:30. Is that right? Okay, so we got 9 minutes left. What else you want to do?
Okay, Sylvia, I'll let you, what else would you want to?
Okay. So, all right, so we picked the value for every one.
Is that called a 7-step plan? Is that the name of that? Like, you have that map.
7-step pulse process.
I love that. Okay, 7-step plan, because we can pull that in with these women at a later session.
Yeah.
7-step pulse map. Okay. Perfect.
I mean, it depends. I mean, we could pull out the flow map, the flow cards, and we could do a quick see. I mean, because synergizing, well, do you want to try that?
Yeah. Sure, that would actually be kind of cool.
With this energy,
The flow lenses.
the flow.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, Elijah, I sent you a note and asked if we could make a hub factor map with only choice and flow, because what we're finding is it's complicated. We went way too big right off the bat. And I think when we're working with one human being or a set of humans like this, flow and choice to me are awesome.
Right. No, you had said that before. Okay, a hub factor map with just choice and flow.
Oh, and you had a question about those other cards. One more question, so that because you
yeah.
set them aside here.
So in the conversation cards, you had like these ones.
Synergies?
Yeah. What are these for?
Oh, those ones. You mean the ones that aren't on the main synergy map?
Right.
I was wondering when you guys would ask about that.
And
That's
then, the conversation ones,
the meta ones. Okay.
meta ones. Yeah.
Okay. So those 6 are like your meta conversations. They're like the 72 conversation types that you have are basically business conversations, right? So there could be other decks for intimate, other decks for friendship, depending. I have another deck actually for social conversations that's a bit interesting because it's very different. So when you're looking at what kind of conversation are we in terms of the context, if you put those 6 with the 5 field spaces, like right now we're in a group space convo business, right? So the Inflow Matrix has a lot to do with matrixing different models together. So on one side, you have the 5 spaces, and on the other axis, you have the 6 fields. You create 30 possible conversational contexts that are all quite different. So if this was the three of us were family and we're talking, group space family. If, do you understand?
Yeah, so there's social volunteer, and then the 936 was community, customers, and members. I'm looking at an old piece of building relationships map.
That looks like that, Elijah.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That's from a long time ago. Okay.
That's a long time ago.
That's actually good. That's still a good map.
That's an excellent map.
Yeah. Because you can do values on that map too. So
Values, yeah.
Okay,
So these are, you can see
these
how
are the meta ones,
yeah,
yeah.
they're called the meta combos.
so they're like the big macros at the top that creates the boundary. So if you're talking, let's say with younger people who go from social field to intimate field, you might go, well, why do we put friendship field in between? And, you know, it's that movement is huge in terms of people learning, you know, the ins and outs of intimacy.
Yeah, Sylvia just said that this morning. Why are these? I said, those don't belong there because those are the, I didn't call them the meta, but I just said, those are the ones that are separate for a different map.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, what are they for? And I couldn't answer her exactly. So this was wonderful.
So this is like the main combo type.
Yeah, like the highest sort of I call them relationship fields.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Relationship fields.
And there, and you know, I have those six, the six, you can use a pendulum with them. I have 6 relationship sort of maps. That's one of them.
Oh, you have 6 relationship maps?
Yeah, like the other one is you know, potential, probationary, active, inactive, dying, and dead is one. Dark master, spiritual master, awakening, asleep, zombie is one. So
yeah,
you should probably have a session just on those, and then how to use them with your clients or yourself. And I should you can put your website on the bottom of that. So that's another thing.
The trust, does the trust map fit into that? No.
Trust maps trust maps on its own, but like one of the values is a trust map, and then you could almost have every value you could have like that trust map, but for that value.
And then did you hear what he says? Use a pendulum, potential, and stuff like that, and you actually use a pendulum.
Yeah, and that works really well if you're good with pendulums. Okay, just to answer your other question, Sylvia, about the synergy, yeah, those ones. There's an 8 map and a 9 map, and I'm not so sure if we've gone into the 8 maps much, but like the 8 map on the flow wheel has values and data, experience, and goals, context and perspective, meaning and significance. So if you put conversation in the middle of that, you have values for the conversation, goals for the conversation, significance of the conversation, perspective of the conversation, data of the conversation, experience of the conversation, meaning of the conversation, context. So the maps, when you start to put them and use them in different places, you just get, again, more patterns to drive you crazy.
Wow.
So Elijah, we have these with all the cards on our Hub Factor table, and I don't think they should have been there.
Well, no, those are flow lenses. Ask your question again. I'm not sure I understood that.
Cards she's just showing you are synergy cards.
Okay.
They were in with the convo cards, but we had them on our Hub Factor table. But they're not part of the 72 cards that fit with the actual map, and we always had those in there.
Those ones?
Yeah,
No,
I don't know why.
These we had in with the synergy card.
With the 70, no,
Yeah.
they're all
No, with the synergy or the convo cards?
combo.
Okay, well, I don't know why they're there. I mean, they're.
Oh, they're with the synergy cards. Yes. So what we're saying is, do you think those belong there? When we're doing all 4 of them, and somebody's sitting on a synergy map, should those cards be in there?
Yeah, because they give a broader, it depends. I mean, if you just have the 10, it gives it, you know, and you just want to, let's say that if you just want them to get familiar with them, it's fine. But what I find is, you know, they give a much broader spectrum of synergy functions. Like waste disposal is very important, but it's not really come up. Observation is very important, but it doesn't really come up. So they're like other subsystems, because there's essentially 20 subsystems. So again, like there's an 8 map and a 9 map at each of the levels.
Okay, I have to run.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do the flow then. We're done.
Can you send us the recording?
Yes, I'll send the recording, and you can have proof now to tell people this is how we do our work. we turn our cards over and we get miracles.
I'm probably, if you get it centralized to us, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to it because I have my own lunch hour now and I'm sitting here by myself.
Oh, by herself.
So I want to go through it and listen to it so that I can record what, like, make
Okay,
notes.
I'll load it right away.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. That'll be my lunch hour. Thank you, Elijah. We really appreciate this.
Yes.
Our next call is when? Like, what do you,
Same time.
Every Thursday.
Thursday 11 my time. Is that fine?
that's noon our time. Okay.
Is that fine?
Mhm.
And I think in between, I'm gonna send you quite a bit. So I think that we're getting close.
We're getting close.
We're getting closer to have you in a position where you can really like be confident about selling certain programs where you go, here it is, boom, 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 and they get a great result, and then we can figure out the next thing, right? But I think that the synergy values map is a great opening product, I think.
That's why I thought this was a good value there, because the courage is really for us.
It's for both.
It's for both our families.
Okay, so next Thursday, 12 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
Thursday, what's that date? Today's the 19th. May 19th at noon, our time, the 11th time. Okay.
Okay, and thank you for anyone listening at the current moment. It was great having you here, and this has been the Visionary Hub with Elijah Ignatieff of the School of Conscious Communication and the New Paradigm Toolkit, and we will see you on the other side.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.